1999. At present, the College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, continues to be the premier institution of higher learning in agriculture and food science, and remains committed to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension programs. In order to produce the best graduates, all of our courses are outcomes-based education, and continuous improvement of the curriculum is being practiced to meet the challenges of the 21st century. As testament of excellence, CAFS is constantly recognized by different organizations. In research, we continue to implement relevant studies with focus on the 12 priority commodities to address food security. Moreover, technologies are constantly developed to aid in responsible food production. Supplementing these are extension activities to disseminate the knowledge generated to improve food productivity and livelihood of the people. We believe that present technologies will future-proof our food systems. Some of our notable developments are IDTech, Coraginam, Plant Health and Pest Clinic, Pest Management Tools and Techniques, Smarter Pest Identification Technology or SpeedTech, Snap Hydroponics, Drone Technology, Rapid Immunofilter Assay for Virus Indexing, Nanofertilizers Fertigrow, Orbogrow, Nanobiosensors, Biochar, we at the College of Agriculture and Food Science will continue to promote and nurture a culture with innovative yet conscientious minds and cutting-edge skills to lead and serve the country and the region. We are one college with one goal towards sustainable food systems. A 112 years ago, the UP Board of Regents had a vision to develop their true firstborn college that will spearhead national development through agriculture. At the foot of Mount Makiling, Edwin B. Copeland, together with 7 faculty and 12 students, embarked on the journey to create the UP College of Agriculture, or UPCA. Through its 112 years of existence, the college has produced over 1,000 technologies and variety of plants and animals, 9 national scientists, over 30 outstanding young scientists, and more than 18,000 graduates contributing to agricultural development. UPCA, now College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, has been continuously contributing to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension function. A mere 10 years after establishment, the college was able to start breeding works with the production of sugarcane varieties with high productivity and resistance to Fiji and mosaic disease. In the 1920s, the importance of agriculture was intensified and UPCA was recognized as neighboring countries began sending their students to Los Baños because of the high quality of education. In the 1930s, breeds with superior characteristics such as the Burkhala pig, Los Baños Cantonese chicken, and Philippine cattle were developed. The 1960s was a fruitful decade for research. Makapuno, a coconut cultivar often made into a dessert, was pioneered and perfected. Meanwhile, the Dairy Training and Research Institute was the first in the country to freeze buffalo semen,
Parang ako
paving the
ini-invite niya.
way for
Yung
artificial
bang
insemination of local carabaos. Along with the establishment of UPLB in the 70s, the college received the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award for International Understanding, Asia's counterpart for the Nobel Peace Prize. In the same decade, the C4 plants were developed. The soil test kits were produced in support of the Masagana 99 program, and the mango induction technique was introduced. Continuing the production of quality research outputs in the 1980s, techniques to minimize post-harvest losses, the accelerated fish sauce manufacturing process, and the rapid test kit for the detection of pesticide residue on vegetables were developed. The 1990s saw many new varieties across species or crop types, including Sinta papaya, the first Philippine-bred hybrid, UPLB Gold, a durian variety, and Doña Amelita, a musaenda named after the wife of former President Fidel Ramos. The award-winning National Corn-Based Farmer Scientist RDE Training Program, or FSTP, was also established around this time and still remains as one of the university's primary extension programs. In the field of instruction, the book titled Integrating Sustainable Agriculture in the BSA Curriculum, the UPLB College of Agriculture Experience, was published in 1999. At present, the College of Agriculture and Food Science, or CAFS, continues to be the premier institution of higher learning in agriculture and food science, and remains committed to nation building through its instruction, research, and extension programs. In order to produce the best graduates, all of our courses are outcomes-based education, and continuous improvement of the curriculum is being practiced to meet the challenges of the 21st century. As testament of excellence, CAFS is constantly recognized by different organizations. In research, we continue to implement relevant studies with focus on the 12 priority commodities to address food security. Moreover, technologies are constantly developed to aid in responsible food production. Supplementing these are extension activities to disseminate the knowledge generated to improve food productivity and livelihood of the people. We believe that present technologies will future-proof our food systems. Some of our notable developments are IDTech, Coraginam, Plant Health and Pest Clinic, Pest Management Tools and Techniques, Smarter Pest Identification Technology or SPITech, Snap Hydroponics, Drone Technology, Rapid Immunofilter Assay for Virus Indexing, Nanofertilizers Fertigrow, Hormogrow, Nanobiosensors, and Biochar. We at the College of Agriculture and Food Science will continue to promote and nurture a culture with innovative yet conscientious minds and cutting-edge skills to lead and serve the country and the region. We are one college with one goal towards sustainable food systems.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Research with Impact CAFS Road to Technology Transfer and Adoption webinar. My name is John Vincent Garcia. I am a faculty from the Institute of Animal Science of the College of Agriculture and Food Science, and I will be your facilitator for today's event. So, without further ado, let's get the ball rolling for this webinar that we are going to have for today. Starting off with the welcome remarks from our beloved Dean of the College of Agriculture and Food Science, Dr. Elpidio M. Agbisit Jr. Doc Peds, you have the floor, sir.
Hi, Vincent. Good morning. Do you hear me properly?
Yes,
Okay
po,
ba?
sir.
Okay. Of course, welcome to everyone, to our UPLB Chancellor, Jose V. Camacho Jr., to UP System TTBDO Director, Dr. Luis G. Sison, and Dr. Gonzalo C. Serafica, to Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, Dr. Nathaniel C. Bantayan, to the Director of UPLB's TTBDO, Dr. Emil John C. Cabrera, and Engineer Aina Angeline Buan, to the brains behind this webinar, Dr. Lilia M. Fernando Corpus, the CAFS Associate Dean for Research and Extension, and of course, the CAFS Research Committee for organizing this event, to the men and women of the College of Agriculture and Food Science, guests, friends, partners, a pleasant morning to all. On behalf of the college, I wish to welcome you to this CAFS consultation and commercialization of technologies. During our 111th founding anniversary 2 years ago, CAFS identified 111 mature technologies of the college. I remembered during the deliberation, a lot of technologies from the college were developed but didn't make the cut for the top 111. We also have a book entitled Agritech that contains the top technologies developed throughout the years of existence. As you can see, we are a source of knowledge and technologies, but admittedly, we lack transfer of this knowledge and technologies to our intended stakeholders. That is why we are now intensifying our effort to commercialize this information to benefit our stakeholders. We have invited our partners in making this a reality. The TTBDO, through the guidance of its director, Emil Cabrera, we are thankful that they are more than willing to assist us. After all, when we start developing these technologies, what we have in mind is to solve the agriculture's pressing problem and make an impact. And this can be done through partnering with other institutions to explore the effects of our development. We have to bear in mind that commercialization does not equate in making profit, but a means to know whether we have made an impact to our society. To the CAFS family members present today, may you learn a lot from our speakers. For sure, a lot of you have something you want to share to the world through commercialization. The TTBDO and Ovicre is here to help us. Thank you for dedicating some of your time today. This may be the catalyst of our journey, and may all our aspirations and dreams come true. Hiraya Manawari to everyone. Vince?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Agbisid. So, of course, Dr. Agbisid just highlighted how important this webinar is because for the University of the Philippines, for an institution such as the University of the Philippines, our capability to generate the knowledge base that we do generate for the country is only one part of our duty. It is also very important to really facilitate and transfer it so that it's going to impact the Filipino society. Okay, so again, thank you very much for your welcoming remarks, Doc Peds. Now, let's proceed with the message from the Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Dr. Jose V. Camacho Jr.
To the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, Dr. Nathaniel Bantayan, to the Dean of the College of Agriculture and Food Science, Dr. Elpidio Agbisit Jr., to the CAFS Associate Dean for Research and Extension, Dr. Lilia Fernando Corpus, to the Director of the UP System Technology Transfer and Business Development Office, Dr. Luis Sison, and to the Director of the UPLB Technology Transfer and Business Development Office, Dr. Emil John Cabrera. To the members of the TTBDO team and the CAFS faculty researchers and reps joining us today, good morning to you all. It is my pleasure to address you for today's webinar and consultation meeting between CAFS and TTBDO. Today's event bears the theme Research with Impact, CAFS Road to Technology Transfer and Adoption. As part of today's activities, we will be discussing how TTBDO can facilitate the technology transfer, intellectual property protection, and commercialization of CAFS research. As a national university, our work does not stop when our experiments are concluded and the results published in peer-reviewed journals. If we are to provide agile leadership for our country's HEIs and SUCs, we must go beyond. We always ask the question, how can my research and its results benefit my country? As part of discussing the significance of our study. But for our research to truly have an impact, we must also ask the question, how can I bring my research and its results to the stakeholders and communities that truly need it? Today, the answer to the latter question will be made clearer with the help of the UP system and UPLB TTBD offices. By the end of today's activity, I hope that CAFS researchers and reps will be inspired to pursue this developmental path regarding their own research projects. Economic recovery from the pandemic, alongside a looming crisis in food security, have moved agricultural and food science research high up on the list of the world's priorities. We must grasp the opportunity and ensure that UPLB's research is not only pioneering, but also practical, relevant, and accessible. And the way of making them accessible is when we can offer it to the public through our TechnoHub and one-stop shop. And thus, I encourage all of you to participate fully in today's discussion. Ask questions and share your perspectives and experiences. Work together. Let us make it so that UPLB's agricultural and food science technology and products are not just on the map, but occupy the center stage. I wish you all a productive and engaging webinar and consultation meeting. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
All right, so there we have it, the message of our dear Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, again, highlighting just how important this webinar is, especially in the present societal climate that we have for the country. Now, before we continue with our program, may we request everyone for a photo op before we continue with our next speakers, para lamang po a proof of life. Yay. So, for everyone po, especially our panelists, if it's okay with you, photo op po muna tayo. Yan. Yan. Okay po.
I'll take the photo po. Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay po.
Okay, thank you very much po. All right. Now, to continue with our event, may we call on the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Dr. Nathaniel C. Bantayan, for a short message.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. And first of all, congratulations to Dean Agbisit for organizing this one. And I understand this is co-organized with the Technology Transfer and Business Development Office through Dr. Emil Cabrera. I would also like to recognize, of course, our very own Chancellor, Dr. Jose Camacho, and the panelists, and including Dr. Sison, the director of the UP system, TTBDO. Sir, we'd like to learn so much from you. There's so much excitement right now on bringing our technologies out there where they matter, no? To the farmers, to the industry, to the local governments. No? I also see here Dr. Serafica, also a consultant of the UP system, TTBDO, and other colleagues in the room. You know, the role of the OVCRE is to bring all of these outputs to TTBDO. So as the Chancellor said, research does not stop with the research outputs alone. And they don't stop at the shelves. They don't stop at the terminal reports. They don't stop at the financial reports. And this has been an aspiration, I think, of the, in particular, the Department of Agriculture. You know, they are the number one client of UPLB as the national university, and we have this imperative to bring our outputs, as I mentioned, out there where it can be used and marketed, and bring ease to our agriculture and fishery sector in particular. And over the last few months, because of the pandemic, exacerbated by the conflict in the Ukraine, all these products that we depend on from overseas are now not coming in anymore. So there is really that urgency to pivot to local agriculture. And this terminology, pivot to agriculture, comes from no less than national scientist Dr. Emil Javier himself. Over the last few months, he was convening, our colleagues from CAFS, Dr. Agbisit, and the Chancellor himself, and we prepared a document where UPLB will provide the Department of Agriculture with our low-lying fruits. What are those products that are ready for upscaling? To use the words of our beloved former USEC Leo Sebastian. And we are now closely working with Senior USEC Panganiban, and we expect in the next few weeks, no, or days, no less than the secretary himself, no, President Bongbong Marcos will come down, and UPLB, no, should be ready with those low-hanging fruits, and that's the reason why we're here. No? It's not only the Department of Agriculture, no, it's also the DOST, no. If you look at the statistics, most of the research funds go to UPLB. But where are the outputs? We have a research institute that has produced more than 40 products. Are they felt? No? Are they felt by the farmers? Are they felt by industry itself? No. So this transition from research output to the market is what we're looking for. But there is a big challenge, facing us, and no less than President Concepcion himself, said that government does not have business to go into business. Our role is just as a research university is just to produce those outputs and bring it out there. So I myself is very excited about this. We're looking forward to this. The DOST is looking forward to this. I was conversing with Secretary Rene Solidom. He said, where are the outputs of UPLB? So the urgency is there, and not to belabor, the fact that really UPLB as the national university is really has this role in bringing all those products, technology outputs in the market, to the industry. And our neighbors are already very successful. Thailand, Vietnam, ironically, they took their education from us, no? So magtulungan po tayo dito, and the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension is your number one supporter in this, and I won't prolong this, but very excited po. Hopefully, gaya ng sabi nila papunta pa lang tayo sa exciting part. So again, thank you very much to the UP System TTBDO, Dr. Sison, Dr. Serafica, our colleagues here in UPLB, Dr. Cabrera, Dean Pids. Congratulations again for organizing this webinar. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor Bantayan. Okay, so papunta pa lang tayo sa exciting part. Just a preview of what's to come, basically. Okay, so our next speaker would be coming from the UP System Technology Transfer and Business Development Office. Okay, so may we call on Dr. Gonzalo C. Serafica for a short message as well.
Good morning, guys. Thank you very much for inviting me. May malakas si Leah sa akin. But I did prepare a quick slide for you guys to just prime you up. And I think, can I share my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
sir.
Doc.
Okay. So yeah, well, thank you very much, guys. I think I'm gonna warm up the floor for you. Nice welcome, VCR, Bantayan, and Dean Agbisit. Nice to meet you by Zoom. I have not been able to come back to Los Baños since your research celebration in March, where I gave a speech and I was with PDLC and Dr. Javier, of course, who's part of the National Academy. So today, again, Leah did ask me, invited me to give you a warm up the floor for Emil to ask for more cooperation from CAFS, and I read the title of the session today on the road to technology transfer and adoption. And I love to hear that there's 111 technologies that you guys have compiled in a book. I'm excited to see the book, and let's look at it and see what we can do with it. And definitely, I like also DCR Bantayan's comment about papunta tayo dun sa exciting part. So just to give you a preview of what you're going to see, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a story. My story, actually my road, more than anything else, in terms of doing technology transfer. In 1989, I was a graduate student in Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in New York for my chemical engineering PhD. And I was in the downstream and biopolymer production. Actually, I went back to UP Los Baños with Dr. Ray de la Cruz in 1993 to talk about potential opportunities for collaboration. Because my advisor back then was a biochemical engineer who visited the UPLB and UNDP program. So that's how far back I've been interacting with UP Los Baños. But unfortunately, there was not much biotech happening at that time in biotech. So I ended up going back to the US only to start my own company in 1996, 26 years ago, where I ended up making biomaterials and eventually making them into medical devices, from an artificial skin all the way to implanting, patching your brain after a tumor resection. And in 2012, I sold my business to Johnson & Johnson and came back to the Philippines as a balik scientist. That's been 9 years ago. And I've been helping UP System since 9 years, starting with the TTBDO office, and all focused on technology commercialization and IP. So yesterday, we were just planning for Aghambayan 2.0, which we did with DC Cinch and PDLC in 2018, and now we're going to close their terms again. But I was with PAEP early on, who's now Sec friend, and helping them in DTI as well. So clearly, this is a all hands on deck kind of activity, and I've been in the middle of it for the last 9 years. And luckily, I'm happy that Emil is now the TTBDO director after our very successful work together with Glenn and DC Rex in the last 6 years of the previous administration. So I'm looking forward to helping you guys in Los Baños with Chancellor Dong, and as well as VCR Bantayan. So just to let you know that the road is not all work. Actually, at the end of my road, I ended up retiring at 45, and I bought a sports car, that little red thing in there, and I raced for a year. But it's really meant to influence my thinking very early on, that I really just wanted to accelerate my commercialization so that I can watch my children grow. That's the whole point of commercialization for me. And that started 25 years ago. And 9 years ago, I ended up being able to accomplish that. But in reality, what did I learn in technology transfer? That if you really wanted to commercialize your technology from research, you have to take care of a lot of things. And sometimes you don't have enough of days or hours in a day to be able to do it. So I always tell people, since I came back 9 years ago, you have a technology, trim it. Trim being able to focus your technology to an application that has value, but also understand the regulatory. In your case, in Los Baños, you have the Pesticides and Fertilizers Authority to contend with to be able to get your product regulated and marketed. You also have to understand who will pay. In this case, is DA paying? Is it LGUs paying? Or is it the farmers? And of course, being able to scale up, which is one of our challenges in some of your technologies there, like Acticon before, looking for scale up for field testing in hectares. And that was a shortcoming, but hopefully you've solved that problem and seen the facility of the in biotech for scaling up the Copramine project. Hopefully all of these facilities will get utilized. I think Leah is in that position now on manufacturing scale. And clearly money has always been a challenge, but I believe there's enough to go around between DOST, Ched Picari, and now DTI and the National Innovation Council that will provide some funding for commercialization. So I think we'll get there. And in the Philippine setting, I always believe, having been a balik scientist, I've helped USAID Strive, a $38 million project for the last 9 years. Definitely being able to help UP and DLSU and Picari. I'm a member of the National Academy as well as past president of PAASE, which includes actually Ino Lancidan is our board chair right now. But I'm also running a foundation for an education for STEM education now, as well as helping not only our premier scientists in NASTA and PAASE, but now K-12 to get into having been part of the DOST ERDT board as well. So with all those roles, I'm always in the middle of everything. And people ask me, Al, who do we transfer the technology to? Depending on where your technology will be. Again, I always tell them that to trim it to see where the gaps are. Now, we've been advocating conducting customer discovery, which BIA is a part of the program. I will discuss that in detail. And clearly being able to increase your TRL, your technology readiness level for field testing. 4 years ago, we implemented the FEC together with DOST and Strive. It's a bootcamp for scientists and engineers, which several technologies in Los Baños have been participatory in this case, from Apticon to Vertigrow to also, I think, Francisco's detection kit as well as some of the other PhilRise and PhilMech and BUST T-shirt and PCHRD as well as Picard. I work with Noel Katibog of the Picard group as well for some of their technology for commercialization and implementing. This is a program that the National Science Foundation in the US has used in the last 10 years that resulted to creating over 1,000 spin-offs. It's a team training program that I'm hoping to continue and expand in UP with the UPC Club Center, which I'm giving a talk in this afternoon, as well as hopefully you'll have a very active one in Los Baños, LIA, moving forward with your thrust towards commercialization. So with that, again, I have my last 2 slides here, just to let everyone know in the audience, technology transfers like a race. You know that I love cars and I love to race, but the first 100 is done by us in academia with government funding. But after done that our part, it's time to pass it on to the second 100, which is typically your spin-off companies, which will try to raise private capital, and then hopefully get to the point where there's enough value and market that will merit manufacturing as well as a worldwide distributor. So think of it as a multi-step process, not a one-time big time. And it will take some time for you guys to get there, but get to the first round first. And hopefully you'll get there in no time. So my last slide, and I challenge the group. I stick to my 10 minutes that you guys allotted me. So UPLB, CFAS with UPLB TTBDO, Emil, go ahead and drive. That is, deliver the promise of your research. Reduce the risk, so get your FPI approval so that your private adopters will have no more risk about marketing their technology. Innovate. I think you've been trying to solve real problems. You should really are in the field, or for lack of a better word, having seen your plots and your areas of experimentations in the field. But more importantly, be clear with your value proposition. And you only get to that point when you know who's the target customer specifically and what is the value of your technology to that customer. Like in the case of LIA, you're targeting increasing the mortality or reducing the mortality of coffee cultivars by using your Vertigrow, being able to increase their productivity by 30% by allowing it to grow and not die. That's a value proposition for the people who distribute, like Nestle, their coffee as well as their cacao. So I'm hoping that you get to those 111 technologies that your dean has mentioned to get to their value proposition. And it doesn't stop there. It continuously evolves. The more you know, the more you talk to the customer, the more you get to realize that the value, in order to be realized, has to solve all the different hurdles like manufacturing, marketing, reimbursements, as well as capital behind it. So it's a continuous, never-ending effort. I've been in technology transfer and commercialization now for more than 25 years. I looked at the whole country as a one big incubator for all technologies ranging from health, agriculture, energy, now also education. So with that, thank you, and I look forward to your questions later on if we have time. But I hope Louis made it to the group, but nevertheless, we in TTBDO system has been here for 9 years, and 6 years of that from the previous administration, and I'm hoping with Don Camacho's administration, we will also generate enough spin-offs in the portfolio that will create hundreds, if not billions, of impact to our farmers moving forward with the new administration of President Marcos. So with that, thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you guys in person the next time I'm in Los Baños. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Serafica. Okay, so we appreciate you really giving us an insight of what challenges and most importantly, what opportunities we are going to encounter once UPLB commits itself to this particular road, which is really to perform the technology transfer. Now, our next speaker would also be coming from the UP System Technology Transfer and Business Development Office. In fact, he is the director of the said office. So let us welcome Dr. Luis G. Sison for another short message. Dr. Sison, you have the floor, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Can I turn on my video? Yeah,
Yes, yes, but
Good morning, Dr. Lilia. Let's try that again. Ayaw pa rin. Anyway, I can just share my slides, or maybe I need to be made co-host. Ayun. All right, there we go. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Thank you, Vincent. Good morning again, Dr. Lilia. Good morning. Hi, Al. Hi, VC Del and Doc Emil. I hope there's a couple more here. I hope I get to, good morning, sir. Okay. So thanks again to the organizers for inviting me over. We were just there actually the previous month, helping Emil launch the Spoken Hubs system, and I hope everybody is able to participate there. So I'd like to just walk everyone through some key support programs that we at the UP system will be launching. In terms of outputs, na-mention na ni Al yung ating Aghambayan sa November 28th. So please put that on your calendars. Ano yan, blockbuster day yan. They will be putting our best foot forward, and we'll also be celebrating the accomplishments of our R&D and innovation community across the UP system, and UP Los Baños will be front and center in that area with a lot of the milestones that you have reached, and also the national impact that you can make with your R&D. So let me just walk you through two of our support programs. I'll just share my. Okay. All right. So oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So when we started when I started working in the tech transfer office together with the then VP for VP Concepcion, we started what we call the Invention Disclosure Incentive Award. So the idea was, most of you are probably familiar with the publication awards, no, yung IPA. And so we said, why don't we try to match that and help our researchers both protect and facilitate tech transfer for their R&D work. So we started this almost a decade ago. Our goal at that time was to produce to have 100 awardees, and hopefully this year we'll be able to to reach that milestone. No? So you can see here with then President Pascual and VP Giselle. We had our first awarding ceremony, and nakita niyo yung mga taga-LB dyan. And we've had several awarding ceremonies since. And we even had one during the pandemic. That was the sixth one. So you can see here all of our awardees, and marami din dyan sa health, no, because it was pandemic and because of COVID. But we're hoping in our next round, we're able to get a broad set of technologies. No? So what does this process looks like, and how do we help you with your technology? So behind the scenes, we have you have the backing of all of the different technology transfer offices from across the different CUs. So that's the Hexacom, and we meet regularly to advise and assist all of our researchers, no? Including, it doesn't have to be from their own campus. No? Okay. So we've made a lot of progress in the last a couple of years. So ito na yung total natin, yung as you can see, no, we're very close to our finish line of 100, and we hope this batch can help us top it up. Medyo nag-taper off lang nung pandemic, but we hope this picks up this year. Okay. And we've also a good number of them have also proceeded to the actual filing of the patent. All right, so here are the steps. No, so many of you will have a key R&D project. Some of you will have several that we can choose from. We will help you do the initial assessment together with your tech transfer officer. So this is a partnership. No, this is not just this is not just the researcher. We pair up the researcher with a case officer, an IP or a tech transfer officer. No? So actually, dalawa yung suporta na pinaprovide namin. No? Number one, it's on the IP side. But number two, we also help match you with potential industry partners, and that's a critical step. No. So after receiving a brief description of your technology, we call that the invention disclosure. We have an assessment called the iCanvas. That was developed in a partnership with USAID Stride, and together with the TRIM criteria that Al mentioned earlier. That gives us an initial idea of where your technology is and what the next steps are going to be. Okay. Now, after we've done the initial assessment and we have an idea of what the markets are, we will then start identifying and getting feedback from industry mentors. We want to understand what problems are there in the industry and in the field that might potentially be addressed by your technology. So we want to understand the situation on the ground. And then once we confirm that there is a match, we try to articulate the value proposition of the technology. Why will they be willing? Why might an industry customer be willing to pay or invest in this technology? So that's the value proposition. And with that information, we are now in a good position to search the prior art for previous filings, previous patents, and then we will need to distinguish. We will need to distinguish our own technology relative to what's out there, what has been filed, and in the context, of course, of the industry need and the problem that we're trying to solve. All right? So after that, we assemble all of that information, and then we pitch that to the Execom, who will then give feedback on the nomination, and then we will decide if it merits the award. And after that, the tech transfer offices will also file the corresponding, make the corresponding filings if they have not done so yet. All right. So what's in it for the R&D team? So we have a two tranche. These are the first two tranches, and then we are proposing follow-up tranches for the award. So meron na kaming draft policy that we will be filing for approval soon. But this is the first two stages. 15,000 for completed the disclosure that meets the criteria, and meron ng prior art that strongly positions the technology relative to what's already out there. And then if there once the filing is also done, then there'll be an additional 25,000 peso incentive. Okay. So this is an ongoing process. Sana makaabot kayo sa awarding November 28, kasabay siya ng Agham Bayan. So the Execom and the staff meets weekly to evaluate and assist the nominees in through that process, so that we can eventually have a filing for the technology, and we will be able to have you'll be qualify for the award as well. So in addition to the online Zoom sessions, we also have an LMS that where we have materials that you can check out, and where you can also upload your the progress of your work throughout that the process that I just mentioned. Right. So in addition to let me know if you have any questions on the IDI awards. There's another program na gusto ko i-preview sana sa inyo, and this is because we'll be launching it. We hope to launch our next batch in food security and sustainability, also on November 28th. So we haven't made the formal call yet, so stay tuned for that. But whereas the focus of the IDI is on IP protection, this helps us take the University Innovation Fellows provide support so that you can take the next steps. Particularly developing a technology transfer strategy, possibly through industry collaboration or through a spin-off company. So stay tuned for this one. Definitely many of the researchers in UPLB will be very eligible for our focus area on food security and sustainability. All right. So with that, thank you very much again for inviting us and for your time. And we're looking forward to the next generation of innovation outputs from the college and from the department. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Sison, for providing us an insight on the available opportunities which our researchers from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, can hope to encounter when they do engage themselves with the process of technology transfer. Okay, so before we continue, can we request another photo op, this time including Dr. Sison, para may makompleto ang ating documentation for this event. Okay, so another photo op po sana for our panelists. Okay.
Okay po, ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay po.
Thank you, Ma'am Cathy. Thank you po sa ating mga panelists. All right. Now, before we continue with the next speakers for this event, are there any questions? Okay, so simulan na po natin ng patikim ang atin pong open forum for this morning. So are there any questions from our attendees, from our participants with regards to the things or to the stuff that our first two speakers were able to share with us? Baka po meron na tayo dyang naiisip na gustong itanong sa kina Dr. Season and Dr. Serafika. If meron po, feel free to put it in our chat box para po may address natin. Meron na po ba? I think wala pa po yata. Mga nag-iisip pa. Pina-formulate pa para maganda ang dating ng tanong. Okay. So,
Sir Vincent, si Sir Al yata ang magtatanong.
si Sir Al po ba? Sorry, ayun po pala. Okay, Sir Al, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask na lang your bosses. I mean, Dr. Dean Agbisit and Vice Chancellor, because when we advise the CUs in terms of being able to start their journey in technology commercialization, and any universities that I've been helping, there's probably close to 25 state universities through the STRIDE program that we funded $500 million. I always ask the top 10 research funded projects.
Yeah.
But I also like, just to start top line, benchmark, magkano ba yung hawak nyo? So ito yung tanong ko ngayon sa inyo. In the last, I don't know how long you've been sitting in your position as Dean, but what is your portfolio? Dean Agbisit. Gaano ba kalaki ang funding ng CAF now, and how many 10 or 20 or 100 million projects is in the portfolio of CAF? And of course, the expanded version is the whole of UPLB, how much funding on a yearly basis is UPLB now tracking. Kasi sa UP Diliman, I talked to Dean Gani Tapang, College of Science doon, and we were trying to help a procurement map for them to be able to navigate their young researchers to procurement issues. And he told me that we do about $1 billion a year in both local and foreign grants. So doon pa lang, simula ng ating sabihin mo sa akin, UPLB $3 billion a year. And Dean of College of Food Science, Agricultural Food Science, we do about 800 million. So yun lang siguro ang una kong tanong, ilan ba yan? Para malalaman natin paano natin hihimayin pagdating ng tamang panahon. So hopefully you can at least, kasi I didn't see the numbers in your videos. I like what's been presented. I like the 110 technologies. But lagyan natin ng peso figure kung pwede. Thank you.
Okay po, Doc Al. Thank you po. May response po ba doon?
Good morning, Dean.
Hi, good morning, sir. Bigla kami naghabol ng dataset nung aming magkano. No? So basically, sir, we get most of our researches from government agencies like DA-BAR and DOST. As far as I can remember, sir, it's a 6-digit figure. No, not 6-digit. It's around 100 million, 150 million. As of now, I think around that much. Around 100 to 150 million for the College of Agriculture and Food Science. We'll just binibilang to be exact about it, no? Pero that's around that much, sir. That's around, of course, both run by UPLB, administered by UPLB, and administered through our foundation also. So
Perfect. Thank you for that data. Kasi I remember when I arrived here from the US, having been in the US for 24 years, si Professor Henry Ramos ang nakaupo sa Diliman. And I asked him the same question. ikaw ang programs manager ng BCRI, Professor Henry, magkano ba yung tinatanggap nating research? 10 million ba yan? 100 million ba yan? Or 1 billion ba yan? And tama, 9 figures na. It's in the hundreds of millions. Indeed. Thank you. Siguro naman, from the whole LB, Vice Chancellor Neil, siguro naman nasa 10 figures ka naman siguro, no?
Yes, yes. Actually, at the OVCRE, we started to digitize and digitalize. And we have found that over the last 2 decades alone, it runs to more than 2 billion.
Okay.
Project funds yun, over the last 2 decades. And that's just DA bar.
Yeah, okay.
Combine that with DOST, including Picard, most of it Picard. Easily 2.5 billion, no? Over the last 10 months alone, no? When I took over in November, we developed a dashboard where we wanted to find out ano nga ba ang impact ng research natin, magkano ba yan? And UPLB-wide, over the last 10 months, 600 million.
Yeah.
So over ano yan, almost 1,000 projects. And of course, expectedly most of that in CAFS. No? So malaki ang investment ng gobyerno sa atin, and yun na nga yung imperative to produce is
definitely. I think your research portfolio, just to warn you guys, from the way I've been hearing it from the administration, you're gonna double up in Los Baños very quickly by next year. So your capacity to absorb in terms of not only conducting initial research, but actually I've been wanting to channel it more towards scale up, field testing, and commercialization. Doon ako humingi ng para sa UP.
Great.
There are, I would say, close to $500 million in waiting funds if we can prove our capacity. So, ganun kalaki. I mean, yung mga ginagawa nila LIA, ginagawa nila sa Acticon, ginagawa nila Dr. Pham, lahat yan, nasa 100 million na yan in terms of being able to translate it into commercial products. So, talagang napaka-exciting itong time na to, and I'm really hoping that you guys are ready for the challenge. Kaya kami nandito. Kasi nakikita namin, nauna kami noong 2020 at saka 2021, we received close to 200 million in UP Manila, UP Diliman for the pandemic, for COVID-19 projects.
Okay.
Administered by BC Ewang now. Dr. Ewang is a fellow.
Ewang, yeah.
So nakita namin yan, yung ganong ano. But now, with the priority of this new administration focusing on agriculture, definitely you will see a 100% jump in funds available. Now, our challenge has always been, and that's always been a challenge with talking to Gev, with Ray Eboran, Secboy before, is our capacity to absorb. Kasi nung initial jump tayo between the Pinoy administration to Duterte, we got plugged. And a lot of it got plugged in procurement. That's why procurement is still a big issue, but definitely there is ways around it over the last 9 years that we've been doing tech transfer here, that being able to spin it out into private sector would be one of the solutions. And getting private sector to do most of your equipment, may solution yan. Kaya hindi tayo dapat umatras. Pero importante, may lista natin yung pagkakagastahan natin para bigyan tayo ng perang mas malaki sa susunod na taon. So yun ang aking challenge to you, all of you guys, is being able to see where your base is. You're just starting. If it's $1 billion for you, VC Neil and Dean, you're doing at 150 to 200 million in CAFS. If you were given double that amount next year, saan mo dadalhin? Yan ang ating pag-uusapan. Sa susunod tayo magkikita-kita. Thank you for the numbers.
Okay, thank you very much po sa ating mga panelists. Yan, may plano na agad. Hey, so mukha pong walang humahabol na questions so far from our attendees. So I think it would be a good time for us to continue our webinar with the talk or an overview of the plans for technology transfer from the Technology Transfer and Business Development Office. So we have here the Director of TTBDO, Dr. Emil John Cabrera. Good morning, sir.
Good morning po. Hello, yan. So good morning to all of my colleagues, Vice Chancellor Nel, Dean Pids, from our colleagues from UP System, Doc Al, Doc Louie, maraming salamat po, Ma'am Lia and our colleagues from CAFS. We are very thankful our office for inviting us to share our knowledge with regards to technology transfer, and for the longest time, I was involved in doing tech transfer about 7 or 8 years. And I think this is the high time that we do these activities because we are really supported by this administration with regards to technology transfer. Ang unang initiative po dyan is we were able to transfer to Office of the Chancellor to have a bigger perspective. So I will just introduce our office and what programs are we currently doing. So if you have heard those words of patenting, trademark, licensing, basically that is our office. We focus on helping our researchers, our faculty, and other colleagues in UPLB in terms of protecting their invention, not just their invention, but also their write-up. As we all know, we have a different types of intellectual property. Kaya minsan nakakalungkot na they think that even if it's just a write-up, there is no protection na pwedeng gawin. So we have to copyright. So in terms of protection, we cater services such as patenting, applying for utility models, and even for IPB, although IPB is more knowledgeable than us in terms of applying for plant variety. So not just us, since Ma'am Lia is our champion in terms of producing a startup company. So we do help our startup company. We called it the Technology Business Incubation Program of UPLB. So we also help our colleagues in terms of business development. When you say business development, we help them on how to make their technology in terms of creating a business. So we do help in terms of creating business plans, marketing plans, and other initiatives related to business development. So this is our office. For the longest time, we also help the micro small enterprises, and currently, after our strategic planning in our office, it was decided that we will also now focus on helping the micro small enterprises, not just around Los Baños, but hopefully within Laguna. So some of the offices that we also have are the intellectual property office. As I mentioned, we do help in terms of applying for different IPR protection. We also help in terms of applying for the trademark or logos. So for the longest time, CAFS has a lot of logos and trade name that is being applied. So nagsusupport po kami dyan. If you have an idea of an entity or a product that you want to have a logo, we also help po yun. We also have our Science and Technology Park. We do cater space rental here in our office. By the way, our office is near biotech and IPB po. So the one producing virgin coconut oil, dito po yun. Yung trichoderma, it is also produced here. Even the biofertilizers created by ERDB, they are locating here in our office. Pascual Pharma. And currently, we do cater pilot plant. Actually, Doc Lia is planning to put up her pilot plant here in our office. Our colleagues from our chemistry, Doc Hernandez, is also trying to put up her pilot plant here. So we do cater space rental. Aside from that, we do help them in terms of their again, business development. So I'm just showing the composition of our team because I assure you that we are a highly capable technology transfer team. So we are a highly diverse background. For me, I'm a chemical engineer. Some of my colleagues come from food science, nutrition, environmental science, and agribusiness. Because most of our activities focus on reading the technical papers coming from different units, especially CAPS yan po. That's why as much as possible, we want to hire employees or research assistants related to food science and agriculture. So our vision for the longest time, the keyword here po is we want to be the bridge. So we want to have a bridge elevated and well-equipped university through the use of innovative solutions through technology transfer. During my term, so I'm currently about 4 months in my directorship. What I do is I as much as possible I want to create partnership. So I am very happy that I was able to later I will show to you guys who are our partners currently, and hopefully CAPS will be one of our very active partners. But I know that CAPS is already in our program, which Doc Louie mentioned, the Hub and Spokes program. So they are also, I'm also very happy because you're one of the biggest colleges that produce a lot of technology. So our mission is to boost an innovative and entrepreneurial ecosystem. From the start of my tenureship in technology transfer, before I remember, we just focus on patenting and drafting. And now I'm very happy that we are now in the phase wherein we are into the acceleration, meaning those processes or equipments that we are currently producing in a laboratory scale, we are translating it in a pilot scale. And hopefully, we can, the end goal of our office is to definitely put oral technologies outside. So we are not targeting hundreds of farmers. Instead, we would like the thousands or millions of farmers to use our technology, especially with the current situation. Actually, there is a opportunity right now in terms of food security. So we really need to put out all those biofertilizers. So those alternatives for food. Actually, I think starch flour is already being targeted as an alternative. So marami po tayong ngayon opportunity. So this is the high time to bring our technology outside. So our goals, as I mentioned, intellectual property commercialization. When we say commercialization, again, it is used by thousands of farmers or end users. Business development, oh yes, we do help our startups. And one of the most important goals that I want to share is the strategic initiatives. I want to inform you guys that we are also catering the project management of the agro-industrial park and information technology. So this will be a almost 12 billion project wherein part of our university, actually it is here in near our office, IPB and biotech. So in the near future, this will be an industrial park. So this will generate a lot of jobs. Aside from jobs, our faculty and researchers will be able to access world-class facilities. So we will do cater knowledge, information, and science technology park wherein our startups can also locate there. So there will be a lot of engagement within the university with the industry, and also our students will be able to do their on-the-job training here in UPLB. So hindi na po natin kailangan lumabas to look for private companies so that we can partner and so that our students can take their OJT there. So this will be a very good development, and hopefully by 2024 we are targeting that it will be bid out. So currently, we are focusing on how to secure the approval of NEDA so that this project will be approved po. So as BCNL mentioned, our activity does not stop in research and development. For the longest time, yun po yung nangyari. Nakakatawa nga po, laging ko naririnig na sa technology, nasa aparador, aparato. So it doesn't stop there. What is our end goal? We need to commercialize. And don't worry when you say commercialization, it's not about raising up the price of the technology. In terms of the business perspective, all of these costs are calculated so that the enterprise will be sustainable po. So that's part of the lifespan of a business. For the longest time, we are sanay tayo because we are subsidized, but we do not look into the cost that we are really incurred, such as labor and other materials po. So hopefully, we are really trying to commercialize. And I'm really happy to learn that you have 100 mature technologies. So hopefully, even at least 20 technologies, we put it outside. So it will be a milestone for us already. And by the way, if you're not informed, one of the highest earning technology comes from CAFS. So if you know Sinta Papaya, just last year, they gave us about 6 million worth of royalty. So it can be used for further research and development. So that's why we are really encouraging researchers to take the path of technology commercialization, because aside from that, researchers also earn through royalties. So imagine 40% of that money will go to the researchers. So these are our other initiatives that will be detailedly discussed by my colleague. Hub and Spokes program with an objective of continuous capacity building, because before we focus on doing trainings outside UPLB, and what we notice is a lot of researchers and faculty really doesn't know what is the true meaning of technology transfer. And with this activity, this will be a series of trainings that will run for about 3 years, and hopefully with an end goal of producing a technology transfer unit within every colleges. So I already discussed the AIP, ITP, the Agro-Industrial Park and Information Technology. I'm happy also to say that I am now teaching technopreneurship in DAME. So it is so we are supported by our colleagues from DAME. Hopefully, technopreneurship will be adopted in all colleges, because it is very important, not just for the researchers and faculty to know about what is technology entrepreneurship, but also for the students. So we do encourage students to produce their own startup companies. We are trying to also to strengthen our extension programs. As I mentioned, we focus on helping the micro small enterprises. Currently, we are focused on helping Sesam in commercializing their technology in Sarai project. I think NCPC has a technology coming from Sarai. So projects in the pipeline, we have proposed project with Picard that will focus on helping our business focus on helping our startup companies. On NEDA, we also recognize the problem with branding and marketing. So kung makikita nyo po yung branding ng ating talagang product. And we do also recognize naman that is not the expertise of our researchers. In terms of DA bar, we are also trying to commercialize DA bar funded technologies po. So basically, that's our office. And hopefully, we can have further engagement with CAFS. Ano naman po that Dean Pids and Ma'am Leah is very passionate on making their technologies available and used by the general population po. So thank you for inviting me. So if you have further question, you can ask me na lang po to chat, and later hopefully I can join the panel discussion po. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Cabrera, for introducing to us the Technology Transfer and Business Development Office. Now, our next presenter is also from the same office, the IP officer, so, which will be talking about the overview on filing of IPs, guidelines in branding, market studies, and other assistance from the TTBDO. So let us all welcome Engineer Aina Angeline Buwan. Engineer Aina, you naka-mute pa po yata kayo. Yan. Okay po.
Alright. Thank you po. Thank you very much. So good morning, everyone. So thank you po for the invitation from CAFS. So I would also like to greet Doc Al, Sir Louis, and Dean Agbisit. So thank you po for having us for this webinar. So for the longest time, actually, matagal na rin po namin plan na mag-conduct ng ganitong setup with CAFS para mapag-usapan yung technology transfer since CAFS is one of the highest tech-generating college units in UPLB. So thank you po for organizing this venue to talk about technology transfer plans. So for this discussion, I will be presenting an overview of the tech transfer process and the services and assistance that UPLB TTBDO can offer. Okay. All right. So this is an overview of the overall technology transfer. So our office function revolves around this process. So this is divided into three. So the R&D phase, the IP protection, and the commercialization. So pag titingnan niyo yung tech transfer process, parang sobrang simple niya. But this representation is, of course, overly simplified since bawat box dyan, bawat component ay may different sub-processes pa and sub-processes. So it's complicated, but of course, that is why TTBDO is here to assist our researchers in translating their products or researches into useful products that can ripple out to its intended users. Okay? So of course, itong R&D stage natin, basically sa researcher yan. But during the conduct of the research and development, of course, it's also helpful na merong feedback agad from the industry. So, para kapag meron tayong mga hindi na pala aligned yung research with the industry needs, we could easily pivot even in the middle of the research and development. So, we highly encourage our researchers and inventors that during the R&D, you consult TTBDO, and we are very willing to help. All right. So after the R&D, this is actually where TTBDO will be more involved in the technology transfer process. So first, we will conduct an IP discovery. So this will be done in coordination with the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Committee of CAFS. So thank you very much for, by the way, for being very active in our activities under the Hub and Spokes. So one of those activities, of course, is IP discovery. So we will do this through an inventory of completed and ongoing projects. So this is basically an initial assessment for the potential IP of the projects under CAFS. So after that, once we have identified projects with a potential IP, we will require the inventors or the team to submit an invention disclosure for and conduct an initial interview. Kasi basically, lahat din po ng information na nakukuha namin from pinagsisimula naming mag-work on kami is basically galing din talaga sa inventor since sila yung expert, of course, din sa kanilang technology. So after that, we will now conduct the assessment of the technical and commercial aspect of the intellectual property. So, ano ba yung intellectual property assessment? So, ito yung isang part dun sa diagram na pinakita ko kanina. So, this one is the assessment part wherein we assess yung technical and yung commercial potential ng ating technology. So, this one is actually adopted from the criteria ng IDI. So, before kasi, as mentioned naman ni Sir Emil, focus kami sa puro patent lang ng patent. So lahat ng disclosure, pinaprocess namin for prior art search and then ipapatent, ipafile. But right now, we are already feeling the load nung mga patent maintenance fees, and hindi lahat din talaga ng technologies natin is nagre-return ng revenue for the university. So right now, we would like to ensure that almost, if not all, ng pinaprotektahan nating mga technologies would have commercial potential already. Okay? So for the technical assessment, we're gonna do that through the conduct of the prior art search. So the prior art is basically, kumbaga, nagsa-search kami, PTBDO, of course, but in consultation pa rin with the inventor, we search for prior arts, meaning published patents and non-patent literatures which are related to your invention. So this will ensure na kapag in-apply natin yung invention nyo sa IPOPHIL, or for example, kung pwede tayo mag-PCT, is that meron pa rin siyang novelty and inventiveness. So ma-maintain niya yung criteria that will qualify for a patent. So next is the commercial potential. Ito yung in-add natin na criteria bago tayo mag-apply for a patent. So we do this through the conduct of industry validation. So this one, ito yung nilift namin from the IDI, Invention Disclosure Incentive, na diniscuss kanina ni Doc Louie. So thank you very much po from that idea. Okay. So for those technologies naman, technologies that can still be further developed to maturity, either technical or commercial-wise. So our office can assist in crafting technology, commercialization, and intellectual property management plans. So it includes recommendations of what can be improved by the team in terms of technical features in order to be more adaptable by the industry. So for example, during the technical assessment, medyo hindi na pala novel kasi meron ng ibang nag-conduct or meron ng ibang nag-produce ng same technology, or nag-iba na yung industry needs. So yung commercial potential niya is medyo hindi na aligned, or yung product is not aligned with the industry needs. So that's where we come in. So mag-recommend kami ng possible pathways or possible plans para mag-qualify naman yung technology. Of course, lahat naman ng technology ng university ay nagagamit talaga. It's just that meron tayong mga, of course, kailangan pa rin i-consider bago siya ma-commercialize and ma-protect for IP. Okay? Next. Alright. So kapag nalampasan na natin yung assessment, so ibig sabihin, patentable na siya or pwede na siyang i-apply for whatever IP, and meron siyang commercial potential. So there comes the intellectual property rights application. So first one is the accomplishment of the documentary requirements. So dito, sa stage na to, kailangan final na yung invention disclosure natin. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina, na hinihingi namin sa inventors para makonduct yung prior art search. So the invention disclosure will contain all the technical features or technical details ng invention para matranslate namin siya into a patent application. So next, we would also require the inventor's team to submit a deed of assignment. So the deed of assignment is basically a document that the inventor's team would have to accomplish to assign the rights to the university. So that's part of the UPIP policy. And next, we have the inventor's royalty sharing form. So ang purpose nito is, since meron kasing, of course, may commercial potential yung product natin or yung technology, ang idea is that i-commercialize natin siya. So dito sa TTBDO, ang practice natin is that as early as disclosure pa lang or IP application pa lang, meron na tayong inventor's royalty sharing para in the end, maiwasan natin yung mga conflicts kapag meron. Of course, iba na kasi kapag merong involved na pera. So as early as disclosure pa lang, sinasettle na natin yung inventor's royalty sharing. Actually, itong deed of assignment and inventor's royalty sharing, as early as yung initial interview pa lang is binibigay na rin talaga namin siya sa inventors para ma-accomplish na nila. And if ever meron mag-arise na issue, for example, is ma-address agad siya, ma-settle agad bago pa mag-apply for IT. Okay? So after we accomplish the documentary requirements, so for inventions such as patent, utility model, and industrial designs, we will proceed with the drafting phase. So dito na natin parang sinusulat talaga kung ano yung application natin. And this will come from the invention disclosure and should be done in consultation and with the approval of the inventor. Okay? So for copyright and trademarks, so dito naman wala tayong dinadraft unlike for inventions. So we just need the HD copies and then we will proceed na with the application. Even the application and registration forms will be, TTBDO will be assisting our inventors and will also facilitate the endorsement to the Office of the Chancellor. So after that, medyo mahabang proseso lang siya, pero kapag maganda po yung exchange ng TTBDO and the inventor, I think kapag natapos na yung draft, mga 1 week, pwede na po siyang ma-file. So after the endorsement, again, we will now file and undergo the prosecution. So yung prosecution stage natin, especially for patents, ito yung medyo matagal. Hindi pala medyo, matagal talaga siya. Kasi it would take, I guess, 3 to 5 years before we reach the grant for the patent. So ito yung point na si IPOPHIL, magbibigay siya ng office action, yung tawag natin, dito sa TTBDO. And the office action will contain concerns or he or she will address the issues with regards to our application. So si TTBDO naman po, during that time, will consult with the inventor to address yung mga issues na na-raise ni examiner or ni IPOPHIL. So it's an exchange of documents and kaya siya matagal kasi minimum mga 2 months yung balikan. So magsasubmit si TTBDO 2 months bago makapag-reply si IPOPHIL. So kaya matagal. Okay? So by the way, we have a brochure pala actually for faculty, reps, students, and staff. So ayan po. Pero hindi pa siya naka-release. Hindi pa namin i-release kasi we're still working on it with the Office of the Public Relations. So pina-finalize pa namin yung design and yung content. Okay. So ayan. Ito yung nasa loob ng brochure. So ayan, you'll see yung mga binanggit ko naman kanina, submission of the documentary requirements, the conduct of prior art search, drafting, and filing at IPOPHIL. Okay. So after filing, again, I would like to remind everyone pala, tinaalala ko, we would like to encourage everyone na bago po mag-publish ng kanilang mga technologies is that we file for an IP protection first. Kasi again, one of the criteria for a patent, utility model, or any invention is that it has to be novel. So kapag na-publish na po, ibig sabihin meron ng public disclosure, accessible na to the public yung inyong technology. So mababypass na or mawala na yung novelty ng invention nyo. Kaya before you publish, you must first disclose to us and apply for a proper IPR application. Okay. So moving on, after natin mag-file, so pwede somehow meron na tayong kumbaga provisional protection since na-file na natin for IPR application yung technology. So pwede na tayong mag-proceed with pre-commercialization and business development activities. So this includes crafting of technology commercialization kits. So ang inclusions nito ay yung IT documents that I mentioned earlier. So we have the quick look. So quick look is a market study done in theoretically in 30 to 60 hours. Pero that was used sa US setting. So dito sa PH setting, based on sa experience namin here in UPLB TTBDO, we can accomplish a quick look in approximately 60 to 100 hours. So ang reason doon is Sa US kasi mas responsive yung mga industry or yung mga potential partners through phone calls and email. Dito kasi sa Philippines, medyo mas kailangan nila, gusto nila yung face-to-face, although mas naging welcoming sila dun sa mga online meetings and phone calls due to the pandemic. So, hindi na kasi naging mas feasible yung face-to-face interviews. Okay? So, Freedom to Operate Search is also part of the Technology Commercialization Kit. So, Freedom to Operate is a document that will ensure, parang search siya, na ginagawa ng TTPDO sa isang, for example, here in the Philippines, may gusto tayong i-penetrate na industry. So para ma-ensure na walang infringement of other intellectual property, for example, patent, wala tayong na-infringe na patent when we enter that industry, we conduct the Freedom to Operate search. Okay. So next, we have the business plan, of course, and the technology valuation. So technology valuation is done to somehow a leverage during negotiations for potential licensees. So ideally, technology valuation, ang hinihingi talaga ng, for example, industry, ay third-party valuation para daw unbiased. Pero dito sa TTBDO, of course, parang gusto natin meron tayong sariling valuation. But we also welcome third-party valuation for comparison. And finally, the Technology Commercialization Kit will also contain the technology brief or technology opportunity document. So basically, para siyang brochure that you give out to potential licensees or partners to entice them or to pick their interest about your technology. Okay? And finally, of course, we need, para magkaroon, of course, tayo ng partnerships with industries, we need connections. So that can also be provided by TTBDO. So lahat ng mga nasa Technology Commercialization Kit ay tutulungan naman po namin kayo in accomplishing this document. Since ito kasi yung mga kailangan din talaga in putting up a business or licensing out your technology. Okay. So for the commercialization, we offer advisory services, and so that includes yung sa mga negotiation, due diligence, or the proper business model para din sa technology. So next, we also assist in the application for FOB. So FOB is the Fairness Opinion Board. So basically, lahat ng government-funded technologies na ila-license out to private companies ay kailangang mag-undergo ng FOB. So the FOB is an evaluation of the fairness ng licensing agreement between the licensee and the licensor. So in this case, UPLB. So dapat bago magkapirmahan ng licensing agreement is ma-release muna yung FOR, which is the Fairness Opinion Report. So dapat nakalagay na fair yung licensing agreement to both parties para maganda yung maging transaction ng licensing agreement. Okay? So FOB is applied in the OST. Again, i-assist naman kayo ng TTBDO on this application. So that includes coordination with the industry for documentary requirements. So hindi lang naman tayo yung may kailangang i-submit for FOB since a licensing agreement involves two or more parties. So yung licensee natin, magsasubmit din sila ng requirements, and doon din tayo magbe-base ng due diligence natin. So appropriate ba sila for the technology? Sila ba yung tamang industry partner to commercialize the technology? Or sila ba yung best? Since in most cases, for one technology, there are more than one interested companies na gustong mag-license. So syempre, minsan lahat sila gusto nila exclusive, gusto nila may iba-iba silang mga requests. So kailangan align din dun sa vision ng researcher and of course vision ng UPLB yung magiging licensing agreement with the potential industry. Okay. So for spin-off companies, these are companies that are put up by the inventors team to commercialize the technology. So we offer enrollment in the TBI. So as mentioned ni Sir Emil kanina, we have si Doc Lia and the team of Dr. Hernandez from Institute of Chemistry are under the TBI. So we offer advisory services and co-working spaces for our incubatees. And finally, we also offer assistance in SEC registration. So medyo marami rin kasi itong documentary requirements and matagal siyang, hindi man matagal, pero medyo tedious yung SEC registration. So we also offer assistance in that aspect. Okay? So this is the medyo simplified version din ng technology licensing process. So ayan, first step actually is that we need to receive an LOI or letter of intent from the industry, and then we conduct preliminary meetings with them, preliminary negotiations, and then submission of documentary requirements, negotiation again of the licensing terms, and then we now go through the fairness opinion report or the FOB. Okay. Again, this one is not yet released kasi wino-work out pa namin siya with the OPR. So, pero malapit na yan. So, stay tuned. Malapit na po namin i-release yan. Next is assistance on branding and marketing. So, right now, meron pong technical committee on branding and marketing na binuo. Although, yung guidelines for branding in accordance to the VIG, so you may scan that QR code po or go to that link to access the VIG or the Visual Identity Guide. Para doon kasi naka-base lahat ng kumbaga ngayon, sina-standardize lahat ng marketing materials and designs ng UPLB para magkaroon siya ng identity. So if you notice, even yung certificates natin na pinapamigay sa mga seminars and yung mga presentations natin is naka-standardize na siya. So that's one of the initiatives in standardizing the branding of the university. So this standardization of branding and marketing is done in coordination with the Business Affairs Office, the Office of the Public Relations, with Department of Agribusiness Management and Entrepreneurship. So yung standardized branding and marketing kasi of course would help in recall, parang pag nakita nila isang product, malalaman nila, oh, that's from UPLB. And it's also an indicator of quality and source. Okay. So along with this, the technical committee is also in charge in crafting a university marketing plan. So this is done with Dane. Ayun, para consistent or constant yung ating marketing throughout ng products ng university. Okay. So finally, we have other assistance or services that UPLB TTBDO can offer. So we can also be involved in projects for technology commercialization. So marami na rin pong researchers and units ang lumalapit sa TTBDO para tulungan sila in crafting a commercialization plan. So basically, doon iikot yung kanilang magiging research project, and actually we are very thankful and happy na may ganun ng initiatives yung mga researchers natin kasi again medyo nababawasan na yung mga sagot na asan yung research nyo, nasa shelf, medyo nandun na tayo sa asan yung research nyo, tinatry na namin i-commercialize or we already have commercialization initiatives. So next, na-mention ni Doc Louie yung IDI and UIF before. So TTBDO also assists our inventors in the UIF. Since UIF, ito kasi yung targeted for researchers for the business aspect of the technology transfer. So yung sa IDI naman, of course, it will be presented by the technology transfer officers from our office. Okay. And finally, we have capacity building activities and trainings through the Hub and Spokes program and other projects that are in line here in UPLB TTBDO. So lahat naman po ng trainings namin will be coordinated with the IEC. So lahat po ng present ko dito, of course, will be offered by UPLB TTBDO to university constituents. And we'll be happy to assist you in your technology transfer initiatives. So thank you very much po. If you have questions, I think we have a panel discussion after. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Aina, for really giving us the details that our researchers are going to need para kumbaga mas maging well-equipped sila to handle the technology transfer of their respective researches. Okay? So, I believe at this point in our event, maaari na po tayong mag-proceed at ma-address ang inyong mga tanong with regards to the technology transfer initiative that is being led or facilitated by the TTBDO. So if may questions po tayo sa ating mga participants, you may address it through our chat box. So, itatype lang po natin sa Q&A tab ng ating Zoom. Okay. So again, while we are waiting for questions from our participants, okay, we have 43 right now. We would like to really extend our gratitude. Sorry. We would like to extend our gratitude to our panelists. Okay. Of course, our Dean, Dr. Elpidio Agbisit, okay, our Chancellor, of course, who, although he was not able to attend live kasi may investiture po siya today, but yung nga, nag-iwan po siya ng recorded message. Okay? So our Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, Dr. Nathaniel Bantayan, our representatives from the UP System TTBDO, Dr. Luis Sison and Dr. Gonzalo Serafica, and of course, yung ating pong last two na nagsalita from the UPLB TTBDO, we have Dr. Emil Cabrera and Engineer Aina Buwan. Okay? Meron na po ba tayong natanggap na questions? Kung wala pa. Tama ba? Okay. Question. Questions po? Or clarifications that you might have sa mga pinag-usapan po this morning all about technology transfer? Ayan, meron na pong dumating. So let me read the question po for our panelists. So this one comes from Romelda Batucabe. Yung packaging po ba ng D3 products as shown in one of the slides is final? Or may we know from where should the package design come from? Kasi this is the first time that I'm seeing the package design. So sino po ba ang gustong mag-address po sa question na to? Si Dr. Cabrera po ba?
Apo, ako na lang po. Actually, it's not yet finalized, sir. So basically, we're just showing an example of what can be still improved with our packaging. And as I mentioned, we do understand that our inventors or researchers are not that expert in terms of that. Even us, we are not expert in branding and marketing. So that's why when I showed my slides, we are proposing a project with NEDA wherein we will be tackling the branding and marketing, standardized branding and marketing of all UPLB products and services. And hopefully we are still waiting for and hopefully by this month, we can start our project, and it is in collaboration with DAME, because we do recognize that our expertise in branding and marketing also comes from them. But to answer you directly, sir, it's not yet final. It's just a more on showing what can be the potential of improving our product po.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Cabrera. Anything to add? May dadagdag pa po ba tayo dun? So, according to Dr. Cabrera po, hindi pa final. So it's kind of like if our researchers are going to really tap the TTBDO para po sa commercialization ng kanilang mga research, they can hope to expect, or they can expect help with regards to the branding talaga. Okay? Para kumbaga mas maganda or mas maging wide-ranging yung reach ng ating mga researchers. So that's a very good thing. So yun po, kay Ma'am Romelda Batucabi po, hindi pa daw po final yung packaging ng D3. So it's kind of like a proof of concept, so to say, na parang sample lang, ganun, teaser. Okay, thank you po sa nag-send ng ating first question. Any other additional questions from our participants? Or maybe from the panelists? Ma'am Lia, may tanong po ba kayo? Hintay lang po tayo. We still have time.
O nga, sino kaya mga magtatanong? Wala pala akong video.
Ayan, Doc Emil, may ano po kayo?
Ako po, may, hello? Yes, nag-mute po yata ako. Wait lang
Ayan,
po.
opo.
Ako po may tanong, are we hoping to receive at least 100 disclosures coming from CAFS? Because based from my understanding, there's already 100 mature technology.
Ayan po, encourage natin ang mga researchers po natin, ano? Wala po ba magtatanong kung paano mag-submit ng ating IDA or ating invention disclosures for the award sa ating mga researchers? Parang tahimik po ang ating mga researchers sa CAFS. Mahiyain na researchers natin sa CAFS. Okay, so for those po na interested para sa ating invention disclosure, you can contact po ang TTBDO or ako po dito sa CAFS para ma-facilitate natin yung inyong mga documents and for filing din ng ating mga IPs as well as yung branding, ma-file natin sa IPOFIL yung ating mga trademarks, mga utility models. O Sir Emil, may add ka po?
Wala na po, ma'am. Ay, yun po yung question ko kanina. Sabi ko, so I was just asking if we will be receiving at least 100 disclosures. Kasi very interesting to know that there is already 100 mature technologies.
So tama Sir Emil, so we encourage our researchers po sa CAFS na ma-disclose po yung inyong mga inventions. And yung invention disclosure naman, syempre under confidentiality yon. And sabi nga natin, road yon sa tech transfer nyo din because for the protection of your intellectual properties, kailangan po talaga siyang ma-disclose and ma-file natin sa IPOFIL. So kasama po yon invention disclosure. At the same time, matutulungan na rin tayo ng TTBDO for IP applications. Yes, Ma'am Bambi. Si Director Kawili po yata may tanong, Sir Vincent.
Yes po. Yan, si Ma'am Bambi po.
Magandang umaga sa lahat.
Good morning.
Tanong ko
Yes po.
good morning, no? Kasi tanong ko lang, nabanggit kasi ni Ma'am Bia yung material transfer, no? So, gusto ko lang kasing malaman kung meron ba tayong template, UPLB template for material transfer agreement. So, noong naghahanap kasi ako, no, ang nakita ko ay sa IPB, meron silang ginagamit. Meron din ginagamit ang Museum of Natural History. So siguro we need to come up with template talaga ng UPLB na pwedeng gamitin ng lahat. So meron ba tayo, Sir Emil? Kapitbahay?
Actually, ma'am, this was already raised by I think a group of attorneys. So this is being handled by our legal unit. So they are trying to consolidate to have a standardized agreement. So iba-iba po yun. May licensing, may material transfer. But currently wala pa po, but usually we endorse it to OVICRE in terms of securing a material transfer agreement po, ma'am. But we do review naman po yung MTA. TTBDO reviews the all intellectual property clause within the MTA. But usually the methodology and other details is being handled by by the unit itself in coordination with OBICRE. So kung gusto niyo po makakuha ng template, I think OBICRE has a template po. Yun po. But hopefully I will try to because this was already discussed by there's a committee already, ma'am eh. So committee of different attorney. Kasi nga po ito is puro legal agreement and they do recognize that we have a lot of different format of the same agreement. So kahit rin po ako before I was able to notice na may iba-ibang format yung mga agreement natin. Because when we are in OBICRE, nagke-cater po kami ng MTA. Ngayon po, I think sila po ang nagke-cater. Yun po, Ma'am Bambi.
Yeah, thank you, Doc Emil.
Okay po. So with regards naman siya sa template. Okay. Meron pa po ba tayong additional questions from our attendees, from our participants? Kung nahihiya po ba or ano lang? Ayan. Okay po. Noted po, Doc Al. Thank you po, Dr. Al, for indulging us this morning. Sige po. Wala na po ba tayong questions or concerns, clarifications about the talk that we have had this morning? If ever po ba, so may question po ako for kung sino man po ang makakasagot from our panels. If ever po na may concerns ang atin pong researchers from the College of Agriculture and Food Science, saan po ba sila didiretso, Ma'am Lia or Doc Emil? Pwede po bang dumiretso na sila sa TTBDO or i-route po ba nila ang inquiries nila through the college po?
Yan. If may inquiries po, pwede po nilang i-direct din sa IAC. Pero if you want direct contact with UPLB TTBDO, flash on your screen niyo po yung contact details namin.
Yan. Okay pa. So, for your inquiries po, if ever na ngayon ay wala pa po kayo naisip, but down the line while you are doing your research and you do want to proceed with the commercialization and the technology transfer of your research, and nandito po ang details ng TTBDO for your reference. Okay. So mukha po, Ma'am Lia, na wala na tayong questions for this morning. Or may hahabol pa ba? Parang wala na eh. Okay, so kung wala na po tayong gustong ihabol na mga questions, please take note po sa ating attendees that we have an evaluation form that is currently being flashed here in our chat box. So kindly accomplish po yung eval form for this particular event. And yes, paki-accomplish na lamang po. So we really would appreciate you guys filling up this evaluation form for the CAFS Road to Technology Transfer and Adoption webinar. Okay, so if nothing else po, I think, Ma'am Leah, okay na po ba? Pwede na po ba nating i-conclude ito? Kasi mukhang wala nang, mukhang malinaw na po ang naging mga discussion natin. Kasi hindi na, ano eh. Mukhang okay na.
Okay, okay na po. Sige, thank you Sir Vincent. Tahimik yata ang ating mga researchers.
Okay po. So with that, we are going to conclude our open forum for this Research with Impact webinar. And for the official closing of our event this morning, may we call, yan, Ma'am Leah, nandito na din po kayo. May we call on Dr. Leah M. Fernando Corpus, the Associate Dean for Research and Extension of the College of Agriculture and Food Science. Ma'am Leah po. Ay,
Ayan.
sorry po ma'am, may humabol po.
Sige, no problem. Go
May
ahead.
humabol po na
Sige.
question.
Mas masaya
Para po
kung
sa inyo
meron.
to. Para po sa inyo
Okay,
to. For
sige.
Ma'am Leah, may in-house process na po ba ang CAFS for tech transfer, or do we just follow the TTBDO process? So, meron na daw po ba ang CAFS, the
Okay.
college itself?
So, na-mention po kanina ni Director Cabrera, ano yung ating hubs and spokes. So, syempre kasama dyan ang CAFS. So, ang Dean's Office po, through the initiative and support syempre ni Dr. Agbisit, ay ifa-facilitate po yung ating tech transfer. So, meron po tayong committee at ongoing po yung pag-aayos natin nung magiging process natin. Katulad rin po actually nung sa TTBDO. Facilitation po yung gagawin ng Dean's Office. Pwede nating itulong sa ating mga researchers para mas mapabilis at hindi kayo mahirapan sa pagpa-file ng inyong mga patents or other needs nyo po for commercialization. So, please feel free to contact the Dean's Office po kapag kailangan nyo ng tulong on this. But of course, better siguro kung diretso na rin sa TTBDO. Pero in case kailangan nyo ng aming tulong, meron nga po tayong committee din to facilitate the tech transfer. Ayun po.
Ayun po. Okay. Thank you po, Ma'am Leah. So, yun po, maaari po natin siyang route through the college, or kung gusto niyo naman po na diretso na, then you can also do so na straight to the TTBDO. Okay? But either way po, definitely magkakaroon po kayo ng insight kung ano ang kakailanganin niyo to really promote the technology transfer of your research. I think there's a concern here na hindi daw po makita yung link for eval. Okay, so, yun po. Nilalagay po siya dun sa chat box. So, kindly accomplish na lang po yun. Okay. Now, with that, so mukhang okay na po. Yan. Tunay na po yata na wala nang hahaba. So, Ma'am Leah, yung naputol po natin na closing remarks.
Okay. So to conclude po our session or our webinar this morning. So salamat po sa inyong pag-attend and syempre sa inyong active participation din. So syempre andyan po yung ating pag-acknowledge sa mga nagsuporta po sa ating mga researches, mga technology adoption activities natin, ang Chancellor's Office through Dr. Jose V. Camacho Jr., ang tatay ng ating university, kay Vice Chancellor Nel, Dr. Louis Sison, our TTBDO System Director, kay Sir Al Serapica, napaka-supportive po niyang si Sir Al, our Balik Scientist and Tech Transfer Consultant, of course, our resource speakers, Dr. Emil Cabrera, and Engineer Aina Buwan for their support and sharing with us on how the university can help in the transfer and adoption of our technologies. Sabi po ni Sir Louis kanina, we have incentives as well in our inventions at the university level. So let's grab this opportunity po na ma-showcase yung ating mga technologies. Siyempre, hindi naman habang buhay nasa university tayo. Pag alis natin, gusto natin fulfilling po na malaman natin na nako yun pala ang aking research may nagbe-benefit, no? So hindi naman tayo yung tipong worldwide mabe-benefit natin, but at least merong nakakagamit at nakangiti dahil nare-realize yung impact ng ating pinaghirapan na research. So sabi naman ni Sir Al kanina, road to tech transfer is not a smooth one. There are bumpy roads ahead, but if we keep our focus on our destination, that is the adoption of our developed products and services, we'll get there, Sabi ko nga po kanina, dapat may nabibenefit yung ating mga developed technologies. So the Dean's Office, through the initiative and unwavering support of Dr. Agbisid, is here to facilitate IP applications and transfer of our CAFS technologies. Kasama po dyan yung ating branding and syempre protection po ng ating mga products. Again, salamat po sa lahat for attending our webinar. Ingat po lahat and kasama niyo po kami sa inyong journey. Exciting journey for technology transfer and adoption. Thank you po.
Okay. Thank you po. Ma'am Lia, kapsama niyo po kami sa journey na ito. All right. So with that, with all of that being said, thank you very much for attending our Research with Impact CAFS Technology Transfer webinar. It has been an honor facilitating this webinar with you this morning. So once again, my name is Vincent Garcia, and take care, everyone. Have a nice day ahead.